guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the luxury handbags I sold and why. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I wanted to actually go through all my previous handbag collection videos just to make sure I didn't miss any of them. I have a list right here of all the handbags I sold, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first handbag that I want to talk to you guys about is the favorite in the size. So I was actually really surprised that I sold this bag because I was so in love with this bag for a very long time. It is such an easy bag to get in and out of. It's very comfortable to wear as a crossbody. You can also take the strap off and just wear it as like a date night or evening clutch if you'd like. It's the perfect size. It fits just enough things in it to make it wearable and usable and realistic for a day bag. Probably the biggest question that I was asked in regards to this handbag was the magnetic closure. If I liked it, if I didn't like it, kind of my thoughts about it. I will say this, one thing that I will say about the favorite and the magnetic is that they were not all consistent. So I had tried some favorites that had a very strong magnet and some had a very light magnet. My Abine one had a very light magnet, but I will say this, my items inside the bags never ever fell out. So it was never an issue that my items fell out. But I will say the magnet was really light, but it didn't bother me. I actually really liked the magnetic closure. The only negative thing I will say about the bag is it did create a rippling effect on the bag because of where the magnets sit. So that's just one of the things that I noticed. But as far as the comfort, the usability, the size, just how easy the bag was to use, I actually really liked this bag. I just found myself not reaching for it anymore and using my other crossbody bags. And for me, especially when it came to crossbody bags, because I love them so much and I reach for them so often, when I noticed that I wasn't reaching for that one in particular, I knew it was time to let it go. So I did sell that one and I do not regret it because I think it's such a great bag and useful bag, but I just wasn't particularly using it any longer. So the next handbag that I want to talk to you guys about is also from Louis Vuitton, and it is the Retiro in the new model. So I had the black version, which is the monogram canvas with the black leather. I really enjoyed this bag. I just noticed that for me, I don't wear black a lot or wear black bags a lot. And when I do wear a black bag, I tend to go towards or gravitate towards smaller black handbags. That's just my preference when it comes to black handbags or bags with black accent, if that makes sense. That's just my preference. The size was amazing. It's such a great everyday size. I loved the versatility of it. It had the double handles. It had the long strap that can be worn crossbody or of course on the shoulder, as well as being adjustable for different heights. I loved the interior being the micro suede. It was very easy to clean out. I also loved the fact that it had leather in the corners and things like that just for durability. It was a very durable bag. I love the way the canvas felt. It was a very soft, smushy canvas, which made it a really comfortable bag to carry. My complaints about the bag were, I will say the interior, because I had the black version, was very dark to open it and get inside. That wasn't necessarily a problem, but it was definitely something I noticed. It wasn't like a reason to get rid of the bag, but I noticed whenever I went to go open up the bag and my items were in there, especially because my items were canvas, like monogram canvas, so they're a little bit darker. It was hard to find and see the items in there because it was just like basically a black hole. The reason why I sold this bag was just because I didn't reach for it. Like I said, I prefer my black bags or black accent bags to be smaller, like on the smaller side. Something that I can wear more crossbody, not necessarily an everyday size bag or something like this, like a top handle size bag. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a great bag. I definitely recommend this bag if you are looking for something that is functional with both black and brown outfits, but also a great everyday size. You could fill this to the brim. It was very comfortable to wear. And like I said, because you had the versatility of the different straps, it was just a really easy bag. I just, again, found myself not reaching for this one because I don't wear black that often. The next handbag that I want to talk to you guys about is the Gucci Soho Disco. I had it in the Tabasco red color, which by the way, it is literally the most perfect shade of red in a handbag that I have ever found. I still to this day, that is my favorite shade of red. I love this bag in so many ways, but I didn't reach for it for two reasons. One, the color. As much as I love the color, I just really didn't find myself reaching for it because of the color. I thought that I would be great with very neutral outfits, which it would be, and it is great for those, but I just never found myself reaching for it. And I don't exactly know why, because looking back, I will say there were a ton of outfits that I wore that I reached for this bag or that bag, and I could have reached for the red bag, the Gucci Soho Disco, and I just didn't. And the other reason was I wasn't really crazy about the opening, the way that your hand went in and out. I didn't like the way that every single time you put something in or you put something out, it was like scraping up against the zipper. Like, I don't know why, I just didn't care for that particular opening. I loved the tassels. The size is really good. It actually fit more than you realize. I didn't love the lining. I will say the linen lining was not my favorite as far as a material. I truly feel like the interior of bags should be wipeable or just easier to clean. That one was a light, and then it was linen. If you know linen at all, it is going to soak up stains and all kinds of spills and everything really, really easily, and it's virtually impossible to get out. Luckily, I take care of my bags, and I just, whenever I sold it, it was in perfect condition, basically. But I just, like I said, I found myself not reaching for it for those two particular reasons. I will say this, I don't necessarily regret selling that particular bag, but there is a part of me that wants to add a red bag to my collection. I just think that I would rather get it in like maybe a Chanel mini, like a mini flap in some sort of way or something like that. I like that type of opening a lot better, like the flap opening versus like like, I don't even know what you would call it, like the slit opening, I guess you could say. So I would say those are my two cons against the bag. As far as the size, I think it's great. It's so cute. It's like trendy and classic, but not like, I don't know, it's like kind of boho. It's just, it has a lot of vibes to it. So I feel like it does go with a lot of different styles, whether you are on the trendier side, where you're a little bit more simplistic and minimalist, or maybe you're a little bit more boho. It does have a lot of different styles too. I will say that I did like that about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's a great bag. It's a great crossbody bag. I just didn't reach for it. The next bag that I sold is the YSL Cake bag in the, I believe, medium size. So I actually sold this one very recently. I didn't even share with you guys that I ended up selling it, but I did end up selling that bag. I don't believe I ever really, I think I might have worn that bag twice, just because of how stiff it was. I actually almost wish that I would have bought in the smaller size just because of how stiff it was. I think the stiff bags in a larger size, not that that's a big bag because it's definitely not a big bag, but I think the smaller bags in the stiffer size work. But whenever you get a little bit larger, in my opinion, I just think that they're a little bit, I don't know, they're just harder in my opinion to get in and out of. And I did reach for that bag. I love so many different things about that bag. I think it's classic. I think the color combo that I got was amazing. And I definitely obviously lost money on that bag, especially since I only wore it a couple of times, maybe twice, and I'm being very generous. But I just didn't reach for it. You guys know I love gold hardware. You guys know I love nude. So if I'm not reaching for a nude gold hardware bag, and I haven't reached for it in months, if not a year or longer, then I just know that it's time for me to let it go and let it go to someone else that would truly enjoy it. I think it's classic. I think it's timeless. I think it's stunning. I think it's beautiful. And I feel like it's one of those bags that you could have in your wardrobe for a very, very long time, depending on your lifestyle. I really thought that I was going to wear that bag a little bit more casual, even though it is a dressier bag. It's definitely something that you would wear to dressier like events or parties or weddings and things like that. I could see it in that scenario. It just didn't work for me in my particular lifestyle. I think it's beautiful, I think it's stunning, and I think it's classic, but it just didn't work out for me. So the next handbag that I sold is actually not a handbag. It is a backpack that I used as a handbag, and it is the Louis Vuitton montsouris backpack in the size. So this was actually the first backpack that I ever added to my collection, and I fell in love with the style, the silhouette, the leather straps, all of that about that backpack. And when I added that, I knew I wanted to get a bigger backpack. So I ended up buying the same exact backpack in the GM size, and after I bought the GM size, it just felt too perfect for me, and I never, ever, ever reached for the size. And so I ended up letting the size go for that exact reason right there. I really enjoyed the larger size of the GM over the smaller size of the even though the had the leather straps and the GM had the cloth straps. But that is basically why. It's a great backpack. If you want a smaller backpack, it's a really, really good one, but I just really ended up falling even more in love with the GM size. The next handbag is also Louis Vuitton, and it is the Louis Vuitton Alma in the BB. I had it in the Vernis Dune color, I believe, and I really did enjoy this bag. I think the bag is beautiful, and the reason why I sold it is because I actually wished that I had purchased it in a different color, like a different color option. I don't know how to explain why. You know how much I love a nude bag, but for some reason I didn't reach for that particular bag in nude. I do not know why. I don't even fully know how to pinpoint it, but I just have wished that I had purchased that one in a different color or like type of canvas or something like that. I really, really love the Alma in the Abine color option. That's like my favorite in the Alma silhouette. So I almost kind of wish I had purchased that in the Abine, but I will say this, and you'll hear a little bit more about that in a second. I'm really, really glad that I ended up selling the BB. I just didn't reach for it. The size was okay. I felt like because of the shape, it made it really difficult to fill it up, if that makes sense. You basically had to put things in the bottom because it got so small. There wasn't a whole lot that fit in there unless you were gonna leave it open, and I just didn't like the way that it looked open. So I just never reached for that one, so I sold that one. The next bag is also an Alma, and it is in the PM size. And I had this one in the black vernis, or it was like the like a shiny kind of black with the rhodithium hardware, like the black hardware, the black metal hardware. I also didn't really reach for this one that much, and the reason why I will say is because I ended up having the trifecta. I had the BB, I had the PM, but I also ended up buying the MM. I still have the MM to this day. Basically, what happened is after I ended up buying the Alma in the MM size, very similarly to the backpack, I never wanted to reach for the other two Almas. I just noticed how much I really fell in love with this one. I preferred that size. I preferred that canvas option, the coloring, everything like that. I just preferred the Alma MM and the one that I got over the other two Almas. So that is why I sold those two Almas. The thing about the Alma is it is a classic silhouette, a classic shape, and just such a classic bag that I knew I wanted to have at least one, and I will never get rid of my Alma in the MM size. I love that Alma. It is literally the perfect bag for me. The next handbag that I want to talk to you guys about is the Louis Vuitton in the Empreinte Speedy 25 bandouliere. So I will admit I was shocked that I decided to sell this bag because in my opinion, this bag is one of the most beautiful bags that Louis Vuitton has ever created. I love the color. I love the empreinte. It's so supple and beautiful. But I found myself never reaching for it because I was so afraid to wear it. And this bag actually taught me a lot about handbags and the way that I am with my handbags. And it made me think twice about some of the handbags that I have or have had on my wish list. And I really have wanted this particular handbag for a very, very long time. At the time, I wanted to add empreinte to my collection. I wanted the Dune. I was just obsessed with the Dune. But when I got this bag, I literally touched it with like gloves. I just was so worried about dirtying it and getting it dirty and really enjoying the bag that it made me not enjoy the bag anymore. The bag is obviously stunning, gorgeous. The size was great, even though it was a 25 size, but because it's a bandouliere, I love that size for the bandouliere. There was just so much about the bag. I love all the detail, the hardware, the strap, adjustable strap, all of that. It's such a beautiful bag, but I couldn't even enjoy it because I was so worried about getting it dirty, about getting color transfer, about all of this. And I take really good care of my bag, so would it have been possible for me to go ahead and enjoy the bag and just take care of it the way I had? Probably, but in my mind, I just couldn't. And so for me, it wasn't worth it. So I only wore it a few times before I ended up selling it. I definitely don't regret selling it because like I said, I literally would get anxiety about that bag. But I do think it's a beautiful bag. I still really enjoy the color, the empreinte look, everything like that. But I just knew it just wasn't for me and my lifestyle. I want to enjoy my bags. And that doesn't mean that I don't buy bags that I have to take a little bit extra care of. Of course, some of my bags are, but not so much care that I literally just don't even enjoy carrying them because I'm so worried about them. And I just felt like that was a little too delicate for me. And so I decided to go ahead and let it go. So the last handbag that I want to talk to you guys about is the Louis Vuitton Petite No Way. So I will say when I bought this bag, I was so in love with not only the bag itself, but also the history behind the bag. So this is one of Louis Vuitton's first handbags ever. And I just really, really loved what it symbolized. I love the history behind it. I also loved that I felt that the craftsmanship of the bag compared to the price was a huge bang for your buck, in my opinion. I feel like you get a lot for your money when it came to that particular bag. They obviously now have the new model version, which I think is a great bag. I love that one as well. But in my opinion, they're two completely different bags. Like, I mean, they're similar, but not really. I just feel like they're a pretty big difference in my opinion. The Petite No Way, the one that I owned, I also just found myself not reaching for it. It started feeling bulky the way that it came away from my body. It started feeling bulky in my opinion. I also felt like in certain instances it felt a little too mature, and not that there is anything wrong with a mature bag because I feel like I have a few in my collection that I love. The vibe of that didn't work for me any longer in a lot of instances and in my particular style as much, so I just found myself not reaching for it anymore. I still think the quality of that bag is, in my opinion, one of the best quality Louis Vuitton bags. I still stand by my original video. I think the bag is amazing. The quality is amazing. The detail of that bag is amazing. And again, of course, the history of that bag is amazing. I just didn't reach for it anymore. I felt like the style and the vibe of that bag wasn't lending, like it wasn't adding anything to my particular style anymore, and I caught myself reaching for other bags that I felt were adding more of a style element to my outfit versus that one. And so it just wasn't really working with my style any longer. I don't really know why, because I felt like for a while it was. And I wouldn't say that my style changed, but I just felt like it wasn't working for me anymore. So I decided to go and let that one go. So that is it, guys. That is everything that I've sold and my reasonings why. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here to my channel, my name is Amanda. It is so nice to meet you. I hope you decide to stick around, hit that subscribe button, that notification button, and make sure to check out one of my next videos. Maybe this one works for you, or if not, maybe check out this one right here. But I will see you guys in my next video. Check out that one and then that one. I don't know, or maybe both, whatever it is. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Never up, never down, never like a theme in a song.